What is up, everybody? We have one of our best students here, Donald. What is up, Donald?
Hey, Eric.
So he's been crushing it with the baseball, and he's came on this interview, kind of discuss, how the program's helped him, how much money he's been able to make in the past couple months, etc. So yeah, Donald, I'll let you take it away, man. Tell us, how the program's helped you, what you've been doing with baseball recently, how much money you've made, etc. Go for it.
Yeah, timing's been a big part of it. Right when I started was basically right when we were supposed to start buying baseball. And the very first thing that I did is I went to the Dallas card show and I was able to pick up a Julio Rodriguez refractor for $1,750. I know we're not in the selling season yet, but I was able to sell it for $2,600 and make almost 50% in just 2 months.
I was even surprised at those profits. That's incredible.
But all in, I've probably picked up 8 or 9 cards. A couple are grading, so if they grade, my investment in baseball will have been a little north of $8,000, and I'll conservatively make or net 14 or 15 when it's all said and done. So okay. I'm really happy with it.
So let's dive into that a little bit. So when did you buy your first baseball card in the baseball buying season?
Oh gosh, so that would have been right at the end of October, early November, whenever the Dallas card show was.
Okay, so early October. Wait, you said early October. Wait, what did you say? Early October?
Late October.
Late October. So let's say Halloween, for example. So now we're speaking, it's January 10th. So that's November, December. So it's been like 2 months and like almost 2 months and two and a half months. Now, so the only thing you've actually sold thus far was the Julio Rodriguez.
Right.
So these are projected profits in the next month or two. So in about a span of 3 to 4 months, you're going to make about like 70-80% on your money. Now, the beautiful thing about that is I always tell people this with sports cards, right? The more money you have, the more money you make, right? It's pretty basic. And the great thing about it is you could start with $500, $1,000, $5,000. Doesn't really matter. I still remember to this day. I had $4,000 saved up from delivering pizza. That's what I started with. Now, right, you're going to take that $8,000 you invested, turn it into 14, 15. Now you have more money. Now you're going to make more money with it. It keeps going and going and going and going. So it's like, you're just like scratching the surface, right? It's just going to get better.
Yeah.
Better.
I think the thing that's really that I've shifted my focus is definitely going higher end. When I first started, I was looking at cards $100, $200, $300, and with how expensive grading is, I mean, if you hit it, it's great, but if you miss, then it just becomes a loss because grading is so expensive. But if you move into the higher end stuff, it's almost like, as long as you don't really whiff on something, it's almost like a no lose scenario.
Yeah, it's like sports cards, especially when it comes to grading. It's like and short-term investing. It's like little risk, very high reward, right? If you lose, okay, you lose 10, 15%. That's life, right? You're not going to win on everything. But if you win, right, you're winning 50, 60, or in your case, right, 70, 80% margins in a couple months, which is just incredible, right? Compare that to like stocks. You make 20% in stocks in a year. It's fucking the best thing in the world. But, you're sitting there making 60, 70%. Investing in sports cards, which is also a lot more fun than stocks. So you can't beat that. What do you think? Tell me, out of the whole program, I always like to ask students this: what part of it do you think helped you the most? The coaching calls, the one-on-one coaching, the videos? Like, what do you think helped you?
I don't know if I could pinpoint. I think like the personal coaching with Coach Joe has been the number one thing. I think coming into the program, you're going to make some mistakes, and one of the things that I had to learn is like, I just got to let that go. It's a sunk cost, and you learn from them. And if you keep on doing it, because I'm really confident in what I've got coming in for, some pretty high end cards that I went and got graded. And then I'm still doing the short-term investing, which is almost like you can't lose. So, taking the whole body of work, listening to the videos, doing the coaching calls, and then working with your personal coach. If you do that, you're just going to be successful at it.
Yeah. So for those of you that are listening to this that are not in the program, what he's referring to as we give you access to a calendar and you go book a one-on-one call with your coach at any time and basically talk about, something you're looking to buy. So just whatever you want to talk about. Our expert coach is there to help you. And I thought that's really important what you mentioned. So, right, at the end of the day, right, you're starting a business, right? You got into this program because you want to start a sports card business, right? And you're starting a business to make money. Now, if entrepreneurship was easy, everybody would do it. Even you joined the program, you had some hiccups in the beginning. It just happens. Like you're going to get better and better as time goes on. We're here to speed up your success, right? You're making 60, 70% margins and how long ago did you join the program? 4 or 5 months ago or something?
Since September.
So it's September, October, November, December. So about 5 months ago, you joined the program. So like you're hitting really good profits in 5 months, as opposed to that maybe would have taken you 3 years, 4 years. I always tell people it took me about 4 years to master everything. I didn't really have like a coaching program to refer to. I had a friend who introduced me to stuff, but yes, like that's the whole point of joining a coaching program, right? Speed up success. But yeah, I thought what you just said, you hit the freaking nail on the head, dude. Like you have the power, like it's about winning more than losing, right? Sports cards is about making more right choices than wrong choices. And the right choices are going to make you a lot more money than the losing choices are going to lose you, if that makes sense. So yeah, right. You just kept at it. And like I said, this is just the beginning, right? What's it going to be like in 6 months when you have more cash to spend and you have more knowledge and you're more confident, right? It just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Like it's just kind of how it rolls. It gets better as time goes on. But yeah, dude, that's awesome. So 5 months ago, tell me this. So 5 months ago, before you joined the program, what was like your knowledge on the modern sports card market? Do you have any? What were you doing?
I had a really high level of knowledge on how to lose money on buying wax and just opening it and hoping I got rich. I probably spent $30,000-$40,000 on wax over the course of a year, and
how much
maybe 20 or 30% returns on that. So I like sports cards, but I hadn't really gotten into the grading.
So in other words, let's say you spent 40,000 on wax, you got back about like I don't know,
15 or 20, maybe
like $15,000. So in other words, you lost about $25,000 and 40,000.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, it's like, man, like probably half the students who joined our program maybe didn't lose that much money, but doing very similar things, right? Just opening up wax. And for those of you guys that don't know what wax is, it's this. I'm not opening this, but it's just opening up boxes and cases. And right, these companies like Panini, who makes this box, they make hundreds of millions of dollars a year at the expense of the people that open it. Like, yeah, can you get lucky once in a while? Sure, of course. It's like pulling a slot machine lever, right? Can you get lucky and leave the casino winning? Probably once in a while, but over the long term, you're gonna get crushed. Yeah, dude. So last question for you. So now you're making this extra money and it seems like things are just gonna keep getting better and keep making more money. How has it helped you either financially, mentally? Are you doing it, going on any extra vacations? I don't know, you tell me.
I mean, right now it's more recouping my losses prior to the program. But I can, people talk about their side hustles all the time, and this requires a decent amount of effort. I'm probably 12 to 15 hours a week, just in my spare time. But with the money, maybe a second home down the road, ultimately just a way to fund a better lifestyle. And it can be a lot of different things.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, second home sounds like a good idea. I always tell my students, right, take the profits and put it into something that's going to produce cash, right? Don't go off and start buying freaking cars and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, man, that's awesome. I appreciate you hopping on. That's Donald for everybody. Donald Worrell. If you have any questions, 2 R's and WORRALL. And yeah, man, thanks for hopping on.
Thanks, Eric.